The night was quiet across Southeast Asia. Everything seemed to flow as usual. People working, resting, city lights glowing, and small villages sleeping peacefully among the mountains. But then, the earth shifted. On April 5th, 2025, at 1:42 a.m., a sudden earthquake struck Myanmar. Measuring 6.8 on the Richter scale, it sent shockwaves through the region. Thousands of people woke in panic. At the epicenter, dozens of homes collapsed. Temples in Sagaing cracked, and some were badly damaged. A land known for its stillness had turned violent. Experts were puzzled. The quake struck far from the Pacific Ring of Fire and away from any major tectonic fault. Why here? Why now? Just days later, in Vietnam, over 1,000 kilometers away, another strange event occurred. In the ancient town of Hội An, a sacred stone stele at the Japanese-covered bridge was vandalized. The stone, over 300 years old, was part of the town's spiritual soul. The public was outraged, but some were afraid. They remembered an old legend, a forgotten tale buried under centuries of modern life, a story of a massive creature beneath the earth, Namazu, the earthquake catfish. In Japanese folklore, Namazu is a giant catfish that lives deep underground. When it moves its tail, the ground trembles and cities fall. It doesn't breathe fire. It doesn't roar. Its power lies in motion, only motion, and that motion destroys. When Japanese traders arrived in Hội An in the 17th century, they came with goods, ships, and ancient knowledge of geomancy. They realized something disturbing. Hội An sat on a major energy crossing point. According to their understanding, it was the place where Namazu's back ran beneath the earth. A dangerous place, a pressure point on a sleeping giant. They couldn't kill the beast, but they could seal it. In 1593, they built a special bridge, not just for crossing the river, but to anchor energy. The bridge looked like a temple with a tiled roof and wooden pillars. They called it Lai Vien Q, bridge for travelers from afar. Today, we know it as the Japanese covered bridge, but its design was deliberate, facing east to west, like a sacred sword stabbed into Namazu's spine. At the center of the bridge stood a small shrine to the Northern Emperor, a deity believed to suppress underground monsters. Not a place for prayer, a place for containment. Let us begin where Namazu's head lies, Japan, a nation that lives with earthquakes as a constant shadow. In 1923, the Great Kanto earthquake struck with a magnitude of 7.9, killing over 140,000 people. Tokyo and Yokohama were reduced to rubble. Fires raged while the ground was still shaking. Then, in 1995, came the Kobe earthquake, 6.9 magnitude, 6,000 lives lost, hundreds of thousands displaced. Newspapers republished old Namazu woodblock prints, as if to say, it has awakened again. In 2011, the Tohoku earthquake, 9.0 on the scale, unleashed a tsunami and the Fukushima nuclear crisis. No one openly blamed Namazu, but on social media, the whispers returned. The beast is angry. Now we move west, to China, where Namazu's neck and upper body may stretch through the mountains and plains. In 1976, the Tangshan earthquake struck in the dead of night, magnitude 7.6. Over 240,000 people perished. Half the city collapsed in mere minutes. There was no warning, just a distant rumble. Then, the ground split open. Survivors said that days before the quake, fish leapt from ponds, Dogs howled all night, and the sky turned red at dusk. Coincidence? Or a ripple from the beast's spine? Vietnam, where Namazu's back supposedly runs, is not known for earthquakes, but it has its quiet tremors, waiting beneath the surface. In 1935, a quake struck Dien Bien, measured at 6.9. In 1983, Mok Chau shook again. In 2021, quakes around Kon Tum rattled homes and nerves, some lasting for hours. These are not cataclysms, but they could be whispers, warnings, gentle stirrings along the creature's back, reminding us that even the calmest spine may still carry pain. At last, we arrive at the tail, where the energy of Namazu is said to gather and burst forth. Myanmar and the Himalayan region are not part of the Pacific Ring of Fire, but they sit near the collision point of two mighty tectonic plates, the Indian Plate and the Eurasian Plate. The pressure here is immense. Myanmar has seen devastating earthquakes. In 1930, the Bago earthquake claimed over 500 lives. In 2016, a 6.8 magnitude quake damaged more than 200 ancient temples in Bagan. And in 2025, another unexpected quake shook the land, following years of relative calm. Nepal, too, felt the beast's fury in 2015. A 7.8 magnitude quake killed over 9,000 people. Entire villages were flattened. Ancient temples crumbled like sand. Geologists called it a nightmare. But was it a message from the tale? In 2020, during a conference in Kyoto, Professor Kiyoshi Tanabe, a respected seismologist and folklorist, made a statement that left the audience stunned. He said, "In the year 2025, Japan will face a catastrophe unlike any before. It will not come from the sky or sea, but from deep within the earth, where something has been sleeping." Many dismissed it, but those who knew Professor Tanabe understood. He was not only a scientist, but a descendant of an ancient geomancy tradition passed down from the Edo period. He once wrote, "The earth has memory, it has rhythm, it dreams, and when it dreams of pain, it repeats that pain." In April 2025, Myanmar shook at the tail. A few days later, a sacred stele in Hội An was destroyed at the spine. Two distant events, but those who know the legend of Namazu trembled. Could this be a pattern? Could it be that something or someone is trying to dismantle the ancient seals one by one? In Eastern geomancy, sacred stones are never placed by accident. Their size, their angle, the hour they are set, all are part of a hidden code. A code to close a gate that must never open. But once that code is broken, whatever lies behind it may rise again. On an obscure Asian occult forum, a user claiming to be a descendant of a family once involved in building the Hội An Bridge posted a chilling message. A secret group is quietly searching for and destroying ancient seals scattered across Asia. They don't believe in gods or monsters. They believe that beneath the earth lies an energy source, one that, if released, could unlock power beyond imagination. It sounds like fiction, but if true, then the destruction of the stele in Hội An was not an act of vandalism, but a ritual, a deliberate action. A key turned, a code undone, a way to awaken what should have stayed buried. But here is what the destroyers may not understand. Namazu is not simply a beast. It is the earth's will. It doesn't rise in anger for revenge. It rises when balance has been broken. We've mined too deep, drilled too far, tunneled without thought. Cities rise like scars. Tunnels dig like claws into the flesh of the land. And when pain becomes too great, the earth reacts. Its response is not chaos, it is correction. Namazu is not punishment, it is a reset. If Myanmar is the tail and Hội An the back, then where will the head rise? Could it be Tokyo? Taipei? A forgotten city sleeping above the beast's brow? We may never know, but one thing is certain. The ancient seals are weakening. Some have already cracked. And if the last one falls, what dreams may awaken beneath our feet? The bridge in Hội An no longer holds its silence. The broken stele may have already echoed its final warning. Through stone, through air, through trembling earth. From the covered bridge in Hội An to sacred stones in Japan, from whispered tales among mountain shamans to ancient geomancy scrolls. These were not meant to imprison monsters. They were placed as reminders. Not for the beasts below, but for the people above. Seals don't exist to suppress evil. They exist to remind humans that some places must be left untouched. But in modern cities, under electric lights and paved roads, who still remembers the tales? Who still listens to the land before drilling into it? And who still believes that something beneath their feet remembers? If Myanmar was the tail flick and Hội An the cracking back, then where will Namazu raise its head? Will it be Tokyo, where history and future collide? Taipei sleeping above old fractures, or somewhere no one expects, quiet now, but trembling deep down? What we know is this: many ancient seals have already weakened. Some are gone, and the earth is no longer quiet. If the final gate has opened, what we awaken may not roar. It may tremble, and we may fall before we ever understand why. So, what is Namazu? Just folklore? Or a whisper from the past, calling to us across time? We live in a century of satellites, sensors, and seismic models. But no one, not even the smartest minds, can predict the next great quake. Maybe that's why the old ones left us tales, not to entertain, but to warn. Namazu is not just a fish, it is a fear, a memory, a sign, a prophecy, a story that no one believed until the ground began to move again. So tell me, do you really believe you're standing on solid ground? Or are you standing on something that breathes, that dreams, that waits? If a monster lay beneath your feet, would you dare to wake it?